Hey everybody, it's Christine, and today I'm going to show you how I took this sketch that I've been working with all month and turned it into a 2-page layout using the DoubleShot kit from the scrap room. So I am going to be building a pretty clean and simple layout because it's a 2-pager. They don't tend to be overly complicated when I do a 2-pager. But I am going to be using the sketch and building from there. So I'm using some cardstock in here as well. Multiple cardstocks, actually. A green one, a white one, a blue one, just to slow down some of the patterns, because I feel like on a 2-pager, if you have too many patterns going on, it's just totally overwhelming. And so I am trying to keep a good balance and make sure the pictures stay the focus and we don't get too crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sketch as I just showed you there, and I'm going to build it on both sides, but I'm going to shove everything over to the middle. So instead of centering everything, I'm going to shove it over to the middle so that they connect. And so you can see I've got the layer that's a horizontal layer, I've got the layer that's a vertical layer, and I am just playing with which patterns I want to actually use here. I love the green, I love the red. There's a lot of options here, but I feel like a lot of them are, if I combine them wrong, it's just not going to work. So I definitely want this floral one in here. I love the colors of it. I love the way it brings out all the colors within the collection. Now, this collection is from Echo Park. It is a farmhouse kitchen themed collection. I didn't do anything with the kitchen part. It would be great for telling like stories about family recipes and stuff. I just didn't have the pictures for it. So really what I looked to on this was the colors in it, and then pulled pictures that worked in the color scheme. Now, I'd really like to be able to include some of this red in there, but it is a vibrant patterned paper. So I'm gonna not use that in a big way. I'm going to go ahead now and pull in some light blue cardstock. Now you can see just a moment ago I had some light blue patterned paper, and while that was beautiful, it was just too much, especially if I wanted to use that floral paper as my horizontal piece. I knew what went next had to be a calmer addition. So I'm going to just use plain old light blue cardstock. One kind of fun aspect of this was I did have the cardstock from the page kit, but I also really dug into my stash on some cardstock that I've had for at least 5 years, maybe longer, for both the blue and the green. So that was kind of cool. They matched perfectly, and I was like, oh, I've had this paper pad for a long time. So it always kind of feels like you're winning when you can work in stuff from your stash that you know has been in your stash for a long time. So you can see I've pulled that red pattern paper back out, and I am trimming it down. I am going to use that as the stripe that's featured on the sketch. Now, obviously, because I'm turning this into a 2-pager from a 1-page sketch, it takes on a different look, but I do think you'll still see the feel of it. For example, how I am placing my photographs. The photographs in the layout or in the sketch are staggered, and so I am staggering mine on both sides of this. Now, I am using some pictures that are not one big focal point picture, which is what I kind of tend to do, where one of them is really the showcase picture, and then the additional pictures are add-ins to the story. In this case, these pictures are all just really good pictures of my kids and my nieces and nephews, and I liked them all. So they're all just going to play in there. Now, I'll show you how I take that to still give a focal point on the layout when I begin to build my title here in a moment. I really think focal points on layouts are important, whether it is a focal point of a really cool background or a focal point of a picture or title work. There's got to be something that like stands out as the first thing that really grabs your eye in telling the story. And so for me, that's always a really important thing to make sure that I have. Otherwise, it's just one big picture. And I think we see that a lot in art. We see that in like book covers, magazine covers, all that stuff. There's always one thing that really pops at you first. And that may be It may vary a little bit for people, like they may see the title first or a picture first, but there's got to be at least one thing that really just jumps at you. Now, one thing I did struggle with here is I had 5 pictures, and I really kind of wanted to include 5 pictures, but it just looked very off balance. So I opted to stick with the 2 pictures, and again, creating that staggered look that is on the sketch. As you can see, I'm adding that red in for the stripe, and I'm going to stretch that pretty much across the entire 2-page layout. And I love the way that red just pops in and brings that extra color right there, drawing the eye down to the bottom of the layout. Now, I'm going to build my title, and I'm not going to use the page kit for this. I am going to use some older Jelly Bean Soup letters. As I said, the page kit kind of has a kitchen theme to it, and there was just nothing really that jumped at me that worked for this. So I'm going to use this word love, and you can see it's big, and right away your eye is drawn to it. So that is perfect. When I don't have those pictures that are my focal point, I can create a really big title that helps to tell the story and then draw your eye into the pictures telling the story. So I'm going to add that giant script love right here. This is a foam sticker, and I love that it's all one piece because I don't have to worry about getting it straight. And then I'm going to create a subtitle across the bottom part of my layout, both at the bottom red strip on the first side and also on the second side. A little quick tip here, when you're working with stickers like this that are on the clear acetate, I love to just cut those out of the packaging and move them around and see how I like them, and perhaps even use the packaging, keep it on there partially to help get things straight. So that's exactly what I'm doing with Liv's here on that bottom red strip there. I've kept the acetate semi-attached. I basically cut like the bottom half off, and then I put it on so that it could help keep things straight rather than me trying to go back and get them on there straight. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the word joy. Now, a couple little words for you about the DoubleShot kit. The DoubleShot kit from the scrap room is a 2-page kit. Comes with 2 different collections, and each collection has patterned papers included. It has some embellishments, and it has some cardstock. And it can be grown even further by adding the Flavors of the Month kit, where you get 4 page kits. So you could get up to 6 different page kits of brand new collections that are fresh off the presses, and you can kind of experiment with them and see if you enjoy them and if you want to get more of them. As you can see, this one has lots of embellishments. It has a 12 by 12 sticker sheet, and so I am pulling the elements off of that are not kitchen themed that will work for a summery layout. I also pulled out the flower paper that you saw I used in the very beginning. I pulled my scraps on that, and I fussy cut some more flower bunches from that, and I'm going to use those for embellishing as well. Now, when you get these page kits, you can also add on to the Flavors of the Month kit. You can add on embellishments, you can add on patterned papers. So she's just got tons of options, both the Flavors of the Month kit with 4 page kits and the DoubleShot kit, which is what this one is from. And kind of like a subscription box, every month you're going to get something new to play with. And to be honest, I never get bored with my scrapbooking. I'm never like, oh, I need new supplies, because I always have these page kits, 6 of them to work with each month in addition to my other design team stuff. And so I always have fresh product, and I love that about her stuff. And as you can see, you can stretch it easily to make a 2-page kit. Now, every once in a while you do want to add in some embellishments, or you want to add in different title stuff. It's really meant to give you a full taste, and while most of the time I really can make my entire layout without adding anything extra except maybe cardstock, you every once in a while do want to add in a little bit more. Like I wanted to change out my title this time, but gives you a really great start. And then what I do every month is I just set aside my extras from it into one drawer that I have at my scrap room kit extras. And so then when I need titles, I pull from that first and see, what do I have from a previous kit that might work for a title, or what do I have for some embellishments? Do I have some little hearts or whatever to help further this page along? So lots of fun to be had there. Now let's finish off this layout. You can see as I've been talking, I've built up embellishment clusters. I've got windmills, I've got flowers, and just lots of little neutral details that work for telling a summer, spring type story. One of the trickier parts of this one, making it into a 2-page, was kind of figuring out where to place those clusters. Just because obviously I didn't need 2 titles, but I do have a subtitle going. So I'm just kind of trying to stretch that and really kind of create a flow and movement across the layout by where I'm placing those. As I mentioned in the beginning, a pretty clean and simple, straightforward layout, but the added bonus of it being a 2-pager. I am going to add some Nuvo drops for my final embellishment, and then that will be it for today. So thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to head over to the scrap room and check out this month's kits. Let Rochelle know that I sent you if you decide to join in, and be sure to hit that subscribe button. We always love new subscribers. Thanks so much for joining me today, and we will see you again next time.